kind of feel like I'm the only one that doesn't know how to do this. And that's why I'm the one making the video. This evening, I will be removing an Autolite 1100 one-barrel carburetor. I have never removed an Autolite 1100 one-barrel carburetor. I do not have a service manual yet, but as much as I praise social media and things like YouTube, if it's been done before, it has been done on YouTube. So that's my first go-to, is to look it up and reference it on YouTube. It's never been done before. The bad news is there is no how to remove an Autolite 1100 one-barrel carburetor video on YouTube. The good news is there's about to be a subpar how to remove an Autolite 1100 one-barrel carburetor video uploaded to YouTube. So anything I'm fairly certain is going to have to be disconnected, I'm going to hit with a wire brush and then spray with some PB Blaster, because I do not want to strip or damage any of this stuff. Get in there good. If you're using this stuff, it's one of those cans that needs to be shaken, but it's not super clearly marked like right on the front of the can. It's actually under this little directions section that says, hey, shake the can. But it really says, hey, shake the can. I couldn't film it and do it at the same time, but I wanted to show you. The first thing I disconnected was the linkage. And I thought it was going to be a pain in the butt, but all I had to do was take this was wrapped around this ball here. And all I had to do was take a flathead screwdriver and get between the ball and this and sort of twist and it push, and it popped right off. So that's how you get that off. Okay, so this fuel inlet line here, I managed, shoot. Okay, this fuel inlet line, I managed to break free. This piece here was stuck or seized to the line, and I was jerking on it, trying to break it loose, and was, as you can see, I twisted the pipe. I didn't realize I was doing it. And it was actually much worse than this, and as I turned the wrench back to twist it back, this finally broke free. So now this is loose and I can get it off, but I just wanted to point that out. Be careful whenever you're trying to get these lines off. I'm going to end up replacing this line anyway, so I'm not too concerned about it, but yeah, just be mindful of that. So one of the lines that definitely needs to be removed before I can get the Autolite 1100, I really love saying that name, by the way. I feel like I'm working on the Death Star. One of the lines that's going to need removed before I can actually unbolt the carburetor and take it off is this line that runs into the heater core. And I don't know, it looks like by design, this is an automatic choke. And I'm guessing, I don't know if this is actually a bracket just to hold it in place, or if the choke somehow works off of the warmth of this heater line. That's something I'd have to research. But these screws, I'm afraid, I broke this one loose, but I'm afraid the two remaining ones are going to get stripped. They're on there pretty tight. So what I think I might do is actually remove the line from the heater core, and then this goes down to the front of the water pump, I believe. I'm probably going to have to remove the hose and take this off, unbolt this from the car and remove it. That way I can get better access to these and take it off then, because I don't want to strip this. I can easily cut this hose and I can get replacement hose, I'm sure, probably pretty cheaply. So I'm just going to cut this hose, unbolt the carburetor, and take it off. Just got to make an executive decision. I'd rather do that than strip these screws. Alright, the hose is cut. So to recap, what I had to disconnect in order to take this carburetor off is disconnect, I believe this is a vacuum line here, which is disconnected. The fuel inlet line here to the carburetor. There was an air line that ran up to the choke here. You would normally unscrew these brackets and free this choke up from the heater core tube here, but I cut it. So those things, and then I just need to unbolt 2 of these bolts. There's one here and one on the other side, and then this carburetor should lift out. And if you've been running this, I doubt there's fuel in this. It's probably dried up, but you would want to dump it into a bin. But yeah, we're almost ready to unbolt the Autolite 1100. I want to point out that I think there should actually be a return spring in here too, that I think this carburetor is actually missing. So there might be one, or there probably is one other thing that you have to take off if your Autolite 1100 is complete. Moment of truth. Let's come in for a better angle. I really want to get you guys a better angle and lighting for this removal of the carburetor. I think I'm going to have to invest in better lighting. Perfect. She slides right off. Okay, now I'm going to show you this. Generally, when you would take a carburetor off a car, you would dump it out. So I'm kind of curious to see. Don't mind the guinea pig. He's inside for the night because there's storms outside. There he is. Ming Ming! Say hi, Ming Ming! Generally, you would dump this out, and I highly doubt there's gas in there, but let's take a look. Let's see. Negative. It's been done. I removed an Autolite 1100 one-barrel carburetor from a 1965 Mustang. I really do get fulfillment out of this. It is just a tiny step in a massively long marathon, but honestly, at the end of the day, doing this, getting to tinker with this kind of stuff in the garage after the kids are in bed and I've had a long work day, I love it. And yeah, it's been awesome. No complaints. Hopefully this helped somebody out there that didn't know how to remove an Autolite 1100 one-barrel carburetor from their 1965 Mustang.